My name is Apiorkor Sayira Mashong Abe. As I like to say, Apiorkor will suffice. Now, why am I coming to you this very moment? It struck me as very interesting that there's a whole conversation online about the fact that people, for the very first time, because of Hammamat, who owns the Shea Butter Museum, who founded it, in her interaction, she and her girls, her team, with IShowSpeed while he was in Ghana, sang the song Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen. And I don't understand how people are hearing it for the first time, to the point where people are insinuating that she really took it personal, she took it World Cup, she created a song to make the whole thing sound and look very cultural. But this folk song is just like San San Kroma or in Chin 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 Crow 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 he any of these baby careful in Boma so many of them and I think it speaks to a bigger problem that we have, where for whatever reason some of our ethnic cultures in Ghana dominate, and so we don't hear much about others unless you come from there or you've interacted with people who come from a particular ethnic culture here. You may not know. Now, it's not like this song hasn't made it to big stages. We have the likes of Chief Moomen, who very often, whenever he's doing a performance on stage, home and abroad, would start with Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen. So it's not new, but again, it's problematic because it means we're not doing enough to educate our young people and ourselves about our traditional folk tales, our traditional folk music, and even why we do them. I mean, there's so many reasons for it. You can come to the Ga culture. We have what we call the Bashimo. So when the fishermen, the fisher folk are pulling their canoes back to shore, just to keep the momentum going, because it's hard work. They pull and they sing in tune with the pool, in tune with the pool. Why, hey, I said, and all of that. So many different things. Similarly, this Kurya Kurya, if you go to northern cultures in Ghana, you realize that creating and producing shea butter is difficult work. And so that you can get the younger women, the younger girls to be a part of it, their mothers will sing these songs. And I have a colleague of mine here at ChannelOne TV and City FM, Tajini Abulai. We call him the Damungo Prince. He's here and he shares my sentiments.
Yes.
This is a song that you grew up with.
Of course.
So can you sing it?
Okay, so you can even add names to it. Okay. So for example, Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen, Kura Apiorkor, Kurjenjen, Kuru Hammamat, Kurjenjen, Kuri Imoro, Kurjenjen, Kuru Abare, Kurjenjen, Kuru Napare, Kurjenjen, Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen, Kuru Kurjenjen, Kuru Apiorkor, Kurjenjen, Kuru Shahalo, Kuru Apiorkor, Kurjenjen. You can add names to it.
I love it. So it keeps momentum.
Yes, it just gives good energy. When you're working on something, especially the women who, when they're doing their Shea Butter and they're getting tired, they just sing these songs, and then it gives them energy, and then they can go on and produce the thing.
Yeah. So how old were you when you learned this song?
Oh, very young. I would say like 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very young.
So it's something that's common, something that you grow up with if you come from a certain part.
And sometimes when we are playing in the evenings, when the moon is out, and then you finish eating and you go out with your friends
by the fireside,
that kind of thing, and they are just singing these songs and all that. It's just nice, it adds to the communal spirits of the people. Yeah.
No, I love it. And for me, what it says is that Hammamat actually gave us a master class in combining tradition and modernity. It was everything about the moment with IShowSpeed was contemporary. The fact that it was streamed, the fact that he's a YouTube sensation, he's very young, but his coming here gave us a chance to sell Ghana. And in selling Ghana, we should always remember that, yes, contemporary, modern, culture is dynamic. However, tradition is the bedrock of who we are. And I think that what Hammamat and her team gave us a proper example and a magically beautiful one so of that.
Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen, 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 Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen.
Hello, bro. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you too?
I'm well, thank you.
Yes.
I mean, trust you to be on a video call and look like we planned your shada.
Well, I mean, gave me notice, so I said I had to put on my hat.
Very important, very important. And Happy New Year to you. I don't think we've spoken with. No, we haven't spoken, but we've been texting. You know, this is roadside, but yeah, texting on other things. Yes, but I wanted to bring you into this conversation. I don't know if you've seen all the conversations happening online about Kurya Kurya, you know, and for me, it's shocking because I think this is one of our folk songs, one of the many that we have in Ghana.
Over a decade,
Yeah, but somehow people don't know about it. And you're the person I know who has sung this particular folk song on many stages, home, abroad, taken it international. So it's not as though you just sing in your room, but you've actually taken it into the public space. So let's talk about it. What does the song mean?
As you have rightly put it, Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen is one of our folk songs, and it's actually my signature tune. So mostly before I start a performance, that's how I kind of like used to get the crowd attention. And for good reason, you know, the whole concept of Kurya Kurya, Kurjenjen can be summarized as the circle of life. So what you would typically see people doing is when you go up north, especially in the upper west region, that's where the song originates from. When the women are working, especially when they are, for example, when they are working around Shea Butter, they sit, you know, in circle. And, you know, the work is kind of like distributed amongst them. So as they are working, they are kind of like singing the songs. It's also a game, you know, I don't know, I think the equivalent is
exactly.
You're moving the stone around in circle. And really the conceptual framework is two ways. Number one, you know, we need to hand over legacy to each generation. So when you're playing the song in a circle, each person represents each generation. And for the continuity of culture, for a people, for a heritage, you need to pass on knowledge, you need to pass on good deeds, you need to pass on legacy for one generation to another. And so when the baton gets to you, it is really your responsibility to uphold that legacy, protect it, nurture it, and pass on to another, you know, legacy.
So it's almost like on a daily basis, you are teaching young people that they have a responsibility to ensure that their traditions live on beyond them.
Their traditions live on, their legacy, their culture, their way of life, their values live on. And if you drop the ball, literally, you have disappointed your generation. It also speaks to the concept of protection. So Kurya is actually tortoise. And you know that the tortoise has this hard shell that kind of like protects us, right? So we all must be like a tortoise, protecting ourselves, protecting our identities, protecting our values. And so they also use that Kurya, which is like a tortoise too, and they make melody and music out of it, but also it preaches a concept of protection that we all should learn about the tortoise, and we should all be a shell for ourselves, for our people, for our heritage, and pass on our legacy from generation to generation. So it has very, very, very powerful social meanings that as a member of the community you have a role to play. So there's a part of the song that we say, Kurjenjen, Kurjenjen. This is calling upon all the women and the children and the men in the community to come together, you know, towards, you know, working towards the development of the community. So that song that Hammamat used, and she's from the Upper West region, was actually quite appropriate, and they actually use it when they are working on the shea crop because it's a communal labor that, you know, the women go out, they come, they pick, you know, they dry it, they cook it, they pound it, they extract the oil. It's a huge communal labor. And so this song reinforces the spirit of community, the circle of life, the philosophy of protection that is ingrained in our cultures, you know. So it's quite very apt.
You know, I knew I was calling the right person to explain this, and thank you. You've done it so beautifully, so succinctly, as I knew you would. But of course, this speaks to the fact that we need to have more of such phone calls, because clearly there's some education to be done across the Ghanaian populace, and we'll talk about that later. We'll see how we can work on that. We do have Heritage Month coming up, so maybe there's something of an opportunity there. Yeah.
Folk songs and their meanings, and you know, I mean, because our cultures transmit value through these art forms, you know, through the songs we sing, through the songs, the dances. They are all, we don't just do them for fun. They're not just recreational, but they actually they empower people.
Value systems, and like you're saying, they're repositories of morality for us and who we are. But Chief, thank you. I know you're very busy. I'm sure I'll see you at some point.
See you on Saturday for our soiree.
I will be there, and also I look forward to seeing what's
Mansa World is doing next. I know something is coming up. I'm not sure if it's time to put it out, so I won't say it here. But you know, well done. I like to say this more publicly, that I'm extremely proud of you and the team for what you're doing and how far you've come. And I know you intend to do much more. And it's a wonderful way of putting Ghana on the map. So thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Mwah.
Kurya Kurya.